Okay. There we go. Hello and welcome everybody to the Italian Grand Prix Round 1 for F1. Got the grid currently forming. We should be away shortly. We are off and away light in the start. Going to be looking to keep that ahead of R7. And we can have any big crashes here in the first corner. Light keeping it clean. Looks like a big crash piling up there. Wonder if that's going to be a safety car. Looks fine at the moment. Do we keep it racing? We do indeed. So that's Light still in the lead. R7 behind him, followed by Versatile, who now come down into the double hairpin. Let's see if they can keep it clean. Let's see if there's any overtakes down there. Shouldn't be there. Still Light in the lead. Got R7 hot behind him, but Robert's overtaken. There's a big crash, and we've got a safety car. All the cars piled up there. Versatile going backwards, losing a lot of positions. We've got a couple of cars piled up. Just going to be seeing if that's going to be +1. And that is going to be an extra lap, so safety car will be coming in next lap as we do a quick fly around. It's now a couple laps behind the safety car. But just to show you the order, we've got Light in P1, R7 P2, Robert P3. So there's quite a big position changes there. Just to see Versatile all the way from 3rd down in P17 currently. Trying to looks like Stefan has made up a lot of places. Brian all the way from the back into P5. It's a great start from Brian there. Tino as well making up a couple of places. A little bit unsure to exactly where everyone started. But it's a big start from a couple of people. There's a lot of the main runners here going all the way down the order. Just also to anyone that is watching along, it's my first time commentating and streaming the F1 race for the first time in a couple of years. So just let me know if any of the audio sounds off or if anything's not running well. Feedback is always appreciated. But we should be starting back up here. Let's see if Light's able to get a good start and is able to hold his lead. Looks like we got McLaren going off wide there. Not sure who that is, but that's Brian into a bit of a collision. And that's going to Constantino all the way down. But that's Light still remaining in the lead. Let's see if they can keep it clean as the first corner this time around. Everything seems clear so far. Light's still in the lead. Looks like Robert battling hard with R7 out in the front. R7's still in the lead though. Should be a big battle coming up there, as well as a battle between Stefan and Melly there. And Tino just behind them. We don't get any attempts into the double hairpin. Don't think we're going to get much until Curse is enabled after the safety car. Skillmax trying to send it on Anthony though, making it very tight. But then we're going to lose a bit of time doing that. Oh, is that another car turned backwards? No, it doesn't look like it. Personally quite excited to have F1 in the live streams again. But hopefully throughout the run of the season, the more I commentate, the more I get used to it again. But should be a pretty good race here today. That SPL gang, if for the people that don't know, that is in fact Goofy Pepper. He's just changed his nickname on Rockstar. 7 and Robert still battling. We're going to follow this battle here for a bit. Try and see what's going to happen as this double hairpin. Looks to be saving a lot of curse there, going very slow into it. Using the brakes up a lot and coasting. Light doesn't really seem to be getting a gap on R7. If anything, R7 might be closing in on him. Of course, some of the drivers might not have known about the rain, so it might be difficult for them to get anywhere. As we have another safety car, so that's going to be the whole grid coming back together. Didn't really see what incident happened that caused a safety car. Check down to see where anyone has dropped. Looks like Verstaal's gained a couple of positions, so it must have been something towards the midfield. Who was in that incident? Fortunately, with me being solo commentator, might miss a couple things, but should see what's going on now. Brian, they're being told with the race director that he's allowed to overtake Melly there, so that's going to be Brian into P6. Not quite sure what happened there. Might have been just a safety car call while they were battling. Right now, very different battle for the lead than I was expecting. I knew R7 would be out there in Lightwood, but I didn't know that Robert would be doing this well. And Tino's made himself all the way back up to P5, already 5 places gained. And Versatile, since that starting incident, has done very well to get himself back up into 12th. Yeah, unfortunately with the ads, we should be setting it up to where I can do them during safety cars and that stuff, but I wasn't able to set it up to where I could manually use them. So right now it's just doing it differently. So apologies for that one, but infinite. But we're restarting here. Light's still in the lead. Looks like Robert sending it around the outside. Does he stick it around? He does not. But that leaves him vulnerable to Tino as Tino gets in front of... Whoa, that's a bit messy between Tino and Stefan. But let's see what's going on. Into the double, Stefan defending heavy against Tino, and he crashes out R7. That's a big pile up in the double. That's another safety car. Melly, big crash. Where does that leave everyone? It's going to leave Tino in P2. Looks like R7's going to drop quite a few more places, though, because he was big in that incident. As we see Stefan come out. R7 still in 4th. And that has not done too much to the places for what I'd expected, to be honest. Few people jumping up places. Again, Melly losing, unfortunately, quite a lot of places there. And so goes for Robert and R7. But it does bring up Goofy Pepper, or SPL Gang, into P6. So he'll be quite chuffed with that. Brian being a big culprit who lost places there, all the way in P17. Yeah, unfortunately the Delta we're using is not working, just crashed right before the race, so unfortunately I don't have any of the graphics for the safety car coming through by the race director, so I'm having to just manually try and figure out everything that's happening. Everything's a little bit messy, but it's our first time back. We're only going to grow and get better. Safety car should be in this lap, unless there's still a car. Maybe that car at the back, but if we see the safety car slow down here, that means that they're trying to get it started this lap. Yeah, the pack should all be backing up now, and we should see the safety car go off track in the final section, where Light will be dictating the pace and hoping to get another good restart, which he's been doing this whole time, just leaving himself out in the front, out of any danger, and he's doing a pretty good job for himself. Skittles going off now. Now Light is dictating that pace. Where will he get a good... There's a helicopter there on track almost. That was... Ooh. That was one of our media team disconnecting, unfortunately. So Light seems to have got another good start. Robert and R7 fighting again on the straight. Going to the first corner. Hopefully they keep it clean. Versa side by side with Skillmax as well. See where that ends up. Smurg might be looking to profit off of that. Skillmax is going for the safe line though, as Versa gets the place. And that means Smurg gets held up a bit. Oh, there's a big crash there on the inside. Who is that? That looks like it was Robert. And maybe... no clue who the other car was, to be fair. Oh, and I've missed it, but there's been an overtake for the race lead. Mr. Tino now leading. Light must have gotten the overtake down in the double hairpin while I was trying to figure out who had crashed there. But now it's looking great for Haas. Car in P1 and P4 as multiple cars hit the slowdown there. Now we see Tino skyrocketing off into the lead. Versa already looking to try and get something on Anthony. Stefan doing very well holding his place. He might be trying to look for something on Light, who's continuously making mistakes after being so clean for the whole start. But now Anthony looking up the inside of Stefan. Might go 3 wide into turn 1. So we see Versa now just back off a little bit. Anthony looks like he's going to be sending it. Will he make it stick? It's a bit bumpy there. Doesn't overtake down in the first corner. He's still side by side. Where will they come out of the straight? See who saved up the most battery. It looks like Anthony's going to be sending it down the inside on the double. But, oh, and there's a crash and he's off into the pit wall. That's so unfortunate for Stefan. Looks like he's upside down and he's back on track. But that's a pretty big collision by Anthony there. It's just going to drop a couple places from that incident as well. Ooh, okay. Just a bit of desync there, unfortunately. But right now, the battle between Haas and the V-Carbs, 1-3 and 2-4, looking like a big battle for the constructors. Let's see who has the better strategy. R7 and Anthony going side by side. Let's see if Anthony keeps it clean. Oh, R7 sending it on Melly. Gets the job done first way around, but will there be a switchback? Doesn't seem like it. Of course, Melly's going to have a bit more battery on the straight, so we'll see if he gets back by him now. Both of them speeding it down. R7 just ahead still. Going to double hairpin, and they're going to look for a mover. Anthony maybe looking from the inside there. He's going to stick his nose up by Melly, and oh no. Bit of camera operating issues there, but it looks like Melly and Anthony might have had a bit of a crash there, with now Smurg barging in on the battle. Oh, there's a car going very wide. Oh, there's a big crash. That needs to be a safety car. Oh, that's a big crash. That is not great at all. There's even more and more crashes happening. That is just not what we want to be seeing. Should be a lot of cars with damage there. Smurg losing out. Anthony losing out. Almost the entire grid there losing out. Let's see where the lead car is. Oh, it almost looks like the leader was close to half the track ahead there. As we see the battling causing other drivers to lose a lot of time. Might have to pay attention for that for strategy. But we should see a lot of the cars going to the pits here with damage because that was a huge pile-up. So this should definitely be an extra safety car lap. So we see Tino, Light and Versatile now after the safety car, followed by Skillmax and R7. This should be a big battle. Wonder if there's going to be any team orders, team defending, or what they're going to try and do here. But they're both in a sandwich with each other, so there's a lot of things they might be able to do here. Need to be operating the camera slightly differently for that corner. Keep missing things. But we should be safety car in this lap. Actually, we might not be because the whole grid is still a bit spread out. So there might be an extra lap here. We should see the safety car staying on unless the race director's made a mistake here. Drivers being told that they can use their battery to try and catch up to the pack, which is usually not allowed under safety car and one lap afterwards. As I'm hearing now that safety car is going to be in this lap, so we should be back to racing. Yeah, we've had a surprising amount of safety cars this race. Rome, of course, having quite a few hairpins and chicanes at high speed, so it is a track that is quite prone to it. But at the moment, we're having a lot more than we had in F3 and F2. I think maybe people just trying to make themselves known, show that they're here for the championship, and just going a bit too over with it. As we see the safety car pull off now, Tino's going to be dictating pace, going a lot slower than Light did. So I think he's going to try and catch people off by surprise here. Probably going to be telling Versatile exactly when he's going to be going. It's like getting very, very close behind Tino, and they are off again. Looks like the front pack all reacted well. Light maybe a bit behind, and so is Skillmax, but that, of course, is probably due to the drivers communicating when they're going to start. Oh, and that's someone around. Who was that? That might have been Versatile than Light. Is that another safety car? Apparently there's another safety car call. As we see Versatile going into the pits. Might have gotten good pit timing. I'm going to assume he's moving off of the hard tyres. Maybe going for medium or soft now that the rain's gone. Just hearing safety cars coming in this lap. Thankfully it went a bit quicker this time, not too much damage, but might have just been a safety call so that nothing happened further. Skittles goes off, and looks like Tino wanting to get it underway straight away. So we see Versatile all the way down at the back, but now R7 back in the mix after that crash. Tino very close, followed by Light, almost getting overtaken on the straight here. Might have a difference in downforce then from the both of them, as R7 might be looking to swoop around the outside, but we'll see what happens here. 3 wide into turn 1, just doesn't happen. Light sitting on the inside. R7 trying to capitalize from it, but he does get the overtake done from Light there. Now we should have Tino wanting to push hard behind Light, trying to make a move into the double hairpin. So let's see if they do anything here. Seems to just still be following, getting a hard battle there. Tino sending the inside. Can he hold it? Bit of bumping and barging there. R7 sending it through. Both of them losing their time, so now R7's into the lead. Tino lost quite a lot of time there, but now Light will be hunting R7 again. Got a great battle for the lead. Brian slowing down into chicane, making it very dangerous for the other drivers, but Melly gets out of there just safely enough. Interested to see what the strategy choice was there from Haas, because we've seen Versatile go all the way down to P16 with that pit stop, and now he's got a whole pack of cars in front of him. So I'm interested to see how that will play out. Should be a good one to watch out for. So it looks like Tino and Lai are going to be battling again. R7's going to love watching that in his mirrors. This might be the opportunity for R7 to just break away. Unless Light and Tino will work towards battling against the leader instead of each other. But Skill Max now coming in as well. Tino's going to be left vulnerable here a little bit between both of the V-carbs. Oh, Goofy sending it on Skill Max. So that's Goofy up into P4, doing very well. He's quite a veteran driver, usually driving F2 often than F3. Used to race with him as well in F2. Very skilled driver. Now Tino's going to be looking to send it down the inside. Goofy also giving a little bit of scare in the rear wing, in the mirrors. Now Goofy going for the attempt on Tino, coming out of nowhere. Big surprise this track. That's what we love to see. Now, it's so difficult to tell if they're going to make the overtake or go for it, but Goofy is still sending it on Tino. Goofy now up into the podium positions. That's a great run for him. But Tino's going to battle him, try and get the inside of the next corner. It's going to cause both of them to lose a lot of time. So you see Skill Max almost getting there. Skill Max might get them both here, but Tino now down into 5th. Not a great battle choice there for them. And Smurg smelling the top 5. As he now battles with Skill Max. All drivers battling at places on the track where you don't often want to be side by side, losing so much time, which is just allowing R7, as you see, to get such a big gap on the rest of the drivers. Sounds like there was a crash based off of what the race director was saying. Not sure who that was between though. Versatile must have put the soft tires on because he's up into P11 now. R7 with a huge gap that just keeps extending. Quite surprised to see how well Goofy's doing as he's now all the way up into P2. Might be on a different tire strategy here, but it's definitely working out for him. So Light now struggles in battling Smurg. Tino seems to be falling behind as well. It might just look like a difference in tire strategy. Might be what gets you the win here. Melly sending it in past Robert. Robert might get him back on the straight there using up all his battery, but Melly's going to hold the inside here and defend it from Robert, and he should stay ahead. Bit of barging there, but no overall crash. So we see Mr. Brian now battling Skillmax as well. Skillmax is losing so much times in these fights, and well, he'd love to be fighting for the lead. Melly's sending it down the inside, 3 wide into the double hairpin again. Oh, and that's going to lose a mass amount of time as all the grid comes closer and closer behind. Oh, and Skillmax losing mass amount of time there. Now, Versatile's in the middle of that fight. So he's making a lot of pace from that pit stop. This is almost close to his teammate again, who was in the lead with him when he pitted. So we see R7 seems to also have pitted, which now leaves Goofy in P1 for the first time ever, I believe, in F1. Now see Goofy going through with Smurg behind him. Believe these two are teammates this race, so it's quite a good showing from Mercedes. Light might not be happy with himself that he's losing all this time, but he might also just know he's on a different tyre strategy. Unfortunately, we can't see what that is, but looks like Tino must have pitted as well. R7 all the way back in the double chicane, so you can almost see Versatile there having pitted under the safety column. You see R7, who was the race leader before battling with Versa, now all the way couple corners behind him. Ooh, that was a bit of a mistake from Stefan, allowing R7 past. As we see Tino still not too far back, because R7 should be our theoretical leader on the track for pit stops, and Tino's still there with him. But we could also just have Goofy and Smoke drive over there, as we see Light go into the pits, so he's pitting a lot later than the rest of the front pack. As Versatile now into P3. Don't think the two cars in front have stopped, but Versatile is now fighting with Robert. Not often the cleanest two drivers together, as they like to get a little bit hands-on in their fights, but they're keeping it clean so far, so that's a good job from them. So Robert's gonna get ahead and decides to back out of the chicane, so now they go into the tight left upper hand as Brian going a bit wide, almost catching the back end of Melly there, but Versatile manages to stay ahead of Robert. So now we should get a fight into the first corner. Anthony closing in up on them as well if they keep fighting in this way. But Goofy still just far out in the lead. So now Anthony joining in, fighting Robert, which might leave Versa to go out free, as Anthony... Whoa, they took that very slow and risky together, but they've come out of it fine, but Robert's still in the lead. His teammate, Mr. Bryan, trying to fight Daniel in the other Ferrari. Is that around the outside of the chicane? Just not. Very risky move. As we got Melly, Ferrari stuck there under the arches. Very dangerous position to be in, but he does well to not hit any other cars. Just hearing that we've got 19 laps left, so we should hopefully see one more pit come through, and then we'll know what the order is, because the strategies are in a huge variety today, so it's hard to tell who's going to win so far. Did Robert? I think Robert might have pitted with how far he is behind. Actually, it might have been a crash, because if he had pitted, he would be way further back. But he's now battling with R7, and there's Tino struggling to get past those drivers and get closer to R7. But Tino, actually, as I said that, just got both the overtakes done, and is now going to fight Ryan, his fellow Dutchman, to try and get closer to the front cars. He's looking for it on the first corner. Got a couple overtake attempts there. Tino gets his job done. Looks like Daniel wasn't able to get it done on Robert, but he did look for it. Oh. Not a great place to come out for Goofy. Instantly getting barged into by multiple other drivers as he's all the way in the mix now. Oh, and he's gone sideways. Wonder if he got any damage there. He's definitely not going to be happy with that. It's been such a good race for him so far. I'm going to fly a bit higher here. Oh, Goofy definitely has lost some type of wing, making it very difficult for him to drive. Yeah, it's beginning of black and orange for Goofy, as he's forced to go to the pits and repair that damage, as he can't drive further. Now we have Versatile leading way ahead of R7. Because that's R7 in second. That means we got Versatile. Where is he? All the way in the double hairpin. He's got a huge gap on the lead right now. I wonder if Versatile still needs to pit. Poor. Versatile is absolutely sending it. Of course, he is one of the drivers who said he's going to be going for the Driver Championship this season and has put a lot of practice in, so he has come here to show that. Haven't seen this dominant of a race since the days of Bruder. Robert also staying in the mix again after I thought that he dropped a couple of places, but he seems to be back at it now. Tino and Smirk fighting. Looked like a bit of a mistake from R7 or Robert there. Not quite sure why their tyres burnt, but Tino is struggling heavy to get past Smirk. Of course, he's going to be wanting to try and get closer and closer to his teammate, but just look at Versa driving off far in the distance there. He's got a lot of time to make up. In fact, everyone does if they want to be looking at a win here. Whoa, close battle with Tino and Smergen, but Tino does get ahead of him there through the first corner, but he might lose it here in the double hairpin. Robert pitting, so that's Robert out of P3. That might be his last pit stop for the race, so we should see him come further forward. Tino and Smirk deciding not to battle through the double hairpin, trying their best not to lose many or much time. Should have about 12 to 10 laps left, so we should see some drivers coming to the pit soon. Wondering what Versa's strategy is going to be, because he's still out all the way in first, and if he's on hard tyres, he should be able to finish the race here. So just see R7 and Versa in this huge gap together. We've got R7 here, almost half a straight. Oh, Versa in the pits now coming out with Tino. So them two shouldn't be battling each other. Wonder if R7's going to have to pit again, because he definitely shouldn't have the way unless he went on the hard tyres at the end now. Versatile, I'm assuming he's going to be on softs for his last couple of laps, so he should be able to hunt down R7 if R7 doesn't need a pit. Not sure what Tino needs to do here, but I'm assuming he might be on a similar race to Versatile, then we might see him come in the end of this lap. Of course, Tino pitted a lot later than Versatile did, who pitted on the safety car. So there might also just be the option that the safety cars have allowed him to spare his tyres enough to make to the end here, which might also be something that R7 looked at. But it looks like the Haas is actually going to be battling each other. Not sure if that was just an accidental battery usage getting a little bit too close in each other. But I think we might see some team orders come in here if they think the one driver is faster than the other. Santino. Daniel all the way up in P5. Also a massive showing there from the Ferrari. We look at the order, Light all the way down in P11. Looks like both the V-Carbs that were out there in the front battling with the Haas's are now struggling. Farmela and Anthony might be looking to have a little bit of a battle here soon. He's got two eager McLarens chasing behind him who are going to be wanting to make an overtake here. Oh, bit of a crash there with Anthony, and that's Formula against the wall. And, oh, that's not great at all, but fortunate to not come into a huge pile-up there. But we see the two V-Carbs joining in on that pack. Led by two McLarens, followed by two V-Carbs, as they very quick overtake that Red Bull of acid. That should be Farmel in the pits. He might have taken some damage there. Let's try and take a look at the lead, see what's happening. We've still got both the Haas's sticking together. Doesn't seem to be fighting at all. We do see Smurg closing in on the both of them though, so they might need to do some team orders, because R7 is just absolutely sending it now. Almost having that same kind of gap that Versatile had a while ago. Smurg coming in for as a reserve driver today for Mercedes. So Mercedes is going to be quite chuffed with his performance today. All these drivers are going to want clean lap after clean lap to try and get closer and closer to R7, because at the moment he's just driving away with it. And Tino going to the pits here very late into the race. He should be gone to soft tyres here. We see Smurg overtake him. Not a lot of cars behind him that should be overtaking him here though. He's just going to have clean air until the end. Oh, but a big pack coming in front of him actually now. Oh, he's going to come out with Skill Max. Ahead of Skill Max and ahead of Light. That's huge for the Haas drivers, I believe. Anthony still needs to pit. Robert's fighting for position. So that's going to be a big fight for the podium places, because I believe Smurg's also still going to have to pit before the end. So that will be a massive battle for the podium. Just heard that we have 9 laps left now. Oh. Yep, there's a confirmation coming in from the FIA with 9 laps left. There's a big pack here fighting for the podium. Not that often that we get such a big battle for it, but I'm always there to see it when it does happen. Oh, we've got a... Oh, that was almost a very big crash there between Tino and Robert, with Robert almost riding on top of Tino there. Lucky to get out of that without much damage or much time loss. But oh, Robert trying to send it down the inside, but doesn't see Anthony, clips into him, loses some time there, and almost backs up the whole rest of the field behind him. So that's going to annoy Light and Skill Max behind, who want to be battling for this podium. As everyone knows, you don't just simply get past Anthony. It's a very good defensive driver who won't give you an inch of room. I missed it, but R7 pitted and now Versatile's back in the lead. Just going to try and see what that gap is looking like. Oh, it's almost the whole pit straight of a gap. To see Versatile coming to the double hairpins there with another car Goofy behind him. But that car exiting the double hairpin is now R7, and the car ahead there entering that straight is Versa. So that's quite a big gap between the first and second. So that does mean that R7 has pitted and that Versa is our net leader. Goofy now getting lapped after leading the race at some point. Smurg just behind them. Yeah, we have Goofy just giving some good blue flags there. Experienced driver. Knows the safe places to do it, so very well done from him there. His teammate should be coming through, and that should be another fair and easy blue flags. Curious to see if Smurg does still hop into the pits though, because if he doesn't, this is only the battle for 4th place. At the moment, Haas 1-3, 1-4 positioning. Tino's just, now that he's past Anthony, is just sending the gap, and the rest of them are all going to struggle to get past both Robert and Anthony. It's not the two drivers you want to see yourself that you have to get ahead of to get onto the podium. But unfortunately, for both V-Carbs, they're going to have to get past them too. just getting told by the FIA and my helper that Apple is most likely to still pit, so that means that the battle for the lead, I mean for P3, should be this big pack. Of course you have to include Tino in front, who's now just sending the gap, with Anthony and Robert losing so much time fighting and the V-Carb just not being able to get much closer. I wonder, does Smurg have that gap to stay ahead from the pits? As that should be Smurg Bonomi, who's still not going to the pits, and I believe we've only got around 6 laps left. So I wonder if he's just gonna stay out and just hope for the best. We've seen drivers do it. Of course, we had Zach in F3 whose tyres popped on the last lap in the final few corners. So anything can still happen. Of course, the field is quite spread out now, as it usually tends to do by the end of the race. Everyone's strategies and everything no longer overlapping. You've got just the McLaren, the Aston, and both the V-Carbs battling here. Just wonder if V-Carb think that this is their fastest lineup, because of course both Light and Skill Max, very fast drivers, but it doesn't really seem like both of them are getting the job done on Robert or Anthony. So we see Smurg still yet to pit. Smurg seems to be driving slower and slower, as I believe, just doesn't have the tyres anymore to go that quickly. So we see now a confirmation of 5 laps left in the race. Of course, we usually have our Delta app or Pulse app, as you see, maybe a Baniara, which helps us to, of course, see the laps, see the safety cars, but unfortunately we couldn't get that running today. So we are just stuck with trying to hear everything from the FIA through our special systems. Actually, Smurg is still catching up to Goofy. I might have misseen that, but oh, Tino is pushing him behind him. He looks eager to get that podium. Look at the gap he's already pulled to Robert and Anthony. Safety car now would be absolutely detrimental. Just look at how much time Tino is gaining on Smurg. Smurg doing a wonderful long stint here though. Should be quite happy with himself. Of course, coming in as a late reserve, getting on the podium is always something amazing to get. Apparently there's some problems with blue flags with the leaders. Oh, and we just see R7 getting just a bit closer to Versatile. So we might even still have a little battle for the lead if R7 is able to keep his pace up. Both P2 and P4 are hunting down the position in front of them to try and get more out of this race. Of course, one battling for the win, the other battling for the podium. Oh, that gap has definitely closed quite heavily. So we now see Smug still staying out, so I don't think he will be pitting again. Seems like my analyst might have been wrong there, but who knows? Just following along Tino. Not too much action going on. Just cars getting past blue flags. The rest all in a bit of a gap. Yeah. Oh no, and that's Tino into the pits again. What's Tino done there? Now he's all the way down in PA. I don't understand the strategy decision, but he might have just run out of tyres there. Or even simply collision, losing a wing. Should be 1 to 2 laps left. Oh, and it's already the last lap, and that's Versatile finishing in P1. Great start. R7 in P2. And that should mean Smurg in P3. As we see him now crossing the finish. Getting very close with the race director's chopper there. Luckily not crashing. Robert into P4. Anthony P5. Skillmax P6. Light P7. As we have Tino limping home in PA. Now Stefan and Daniel coming in 9th and 10th. With Formula just finishing out of the points for 10th. Acid 12th. Blue Shade 13th. So then Brian coming home 14th. Friend coming 15th. Melly 16. Tim 17. And Babrecki 18. Should still have Russian Dealer and Goofy coming in. Stay. Oh, there goes my race director. This is. But that's Russian Dealer finishing P19. And Goofy finishing P20. Guys, just make sure to join the Discord. You can vote there for Driver of the Day. It's always a cool prize to still get. You can sign up's quite easy. Link to the Discord should be in the description. And from there, the sign up process should be explained to you. If you do struggle, you can always open up an admin ticket and staff will respond to you and help you through the process. And also, guys, do make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can catch us whenever we're streaming, whenever there's a new upload. We also just recently had a video of The Last Dance, a story of Mercedes, which is just a story about the last season's battle between the Mercedes, somewhat like a Drive to Survive type of deal. Very cool video, so go make sure you check that out, and I will see you